Hi, I'm Symphoneers, and today we're doing a deep dive on one of the new Lost Caverns of Ixalan spoilers, Ojer Axonil, Deepest Might. I have no idea if I got that pronunciation right, either "oh, I'm sorry" or "wow, I can't believe I aced it," edit as appropriate. Anyway, I just thought it would be a fun or new thing to try anyway for this spoiler season, or this card. Let's get into it. So for a bit of context, transforming cards were a flagship mechanic in original Ixalan, and I think it's fair to say they were a bit of a dud. A few were somewhat competitive, or at least beloved. I'm thinking of Legion's Landing and Treasure Map in particular, but by and large they kind of missed the mark. They were often somewhat underpowered and didn't always have the strongest connection between the front and back sides. Enter Ojer Axonil. Immediately I think the front side of the card is far more exciting than most or all of the original Ixalan cards that transformed. It immediately recontextualizes small pings of damage like those from Cavern of Ixalan, Voldaran Epicure, or even the adventure on Frolicking Familiar, potentially providing a more powerful damage amplification effect than even Torbrand. While similar 4-mana creatures haven't really found a home in Standard, I think Ojer asks for a lot less than Imodane or Solfim. You can play absolute trash, and Ojer will still turn the heat way up. The way the ability works also allows for some imaginative brews. It's based on current power, not base power, so you could go into Gruul to scale it up with some pump spells or something, or even just keep it in mono red, target it with a monstrous rage, and get to town burning people for 7. You can get things cooking pretty easily. Moving on to the transformation aspect, I love this as a kind of half nod to the way the Amonkhet gods resisted removal, only instead of kind of getting abstractly placed into your deck, they return to their place of power. It's reflective of a relationship between Ixalan gods and their temple, almost like that between you and lands when you play Magic. Ley lines are sites of power that must be leveraged in order to produce spectacular effects. The fact the temple isn't legendary is also great. Aside from gameplay patterns and options that opens up, it also speaks to a kind of Theros-like need for believers. As long as a temple is worshipping Ojer, they can always come back. In general, I just like this design a lot more than some of the recent transforming cards as well, like the March of the Machines Praetors. They're flavorful, but they're also kind of a mess, a bit of a train wreck. They're just a textbook of mechanics that floods the game state with a bunch of trash and doesn't really ask you to do anything. By comparison, Ojer's dead simple. The back cares about the same mechanics as the front, down to the number 4 being important. It also doesn't clog up the board with junk. You're not going to accidentally or unintentionally flip the card. You get to handle it with intention. Ojer demands tribute. I imagine a lot of players might hear that and go, "Ooh, the card doesn't do 50 things? Card bad." I think even if it gets killed, it still supports a big red playstyle, which is great. Like with Realm Scorcher Hellkite, if your opponent's not interacting and you assemble the duo, amazing, you have a dragon that has a 2-mana deal 4 to anything ability, and oh, you're cooking with gas. If your opponent is interacting and they kill Ojer before you assemble the team, great, that makes your Hellkite easier to cast. Or maybe you want to cast a big Chandra or something. Chandra Hope's Beacon is especially nice because she can downtick and meet the flip condition on the temple without actually zeroing out her loyalty. And despite all these kind of like fun powers and synergies, there's still counterplay. Aside from the obvious weakness to exile removal, there is a timing window after Ojer is destroyed where it can be gobbled up by a hearse or a scooze. Most land destruction can hit the temple as well, even very safe land destruction like Field of Ruin or whatever, and that'll end the flip-flopping. The design is powerful, compelling, interesting, imaginative, flavorful, and it still has these nice little safety vents where if anything gets too oppressive, there's tech for it. And yeah, that wraps up the deep dive, or whatever I'm going to call this, on Ojer. Let me know in the comments below if you liked this video. Consider subscribing to the channel, helps a lot. Thanks for watching, hope you have a wonderful day, bye-bye. Thank you for watching the video, and an extra big thank you to the Patreon patrons and YouTube members that help make these videos possible. Hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.